I've seen a lot of players who seem to struggle with the new bounties, the new Wonderverse Bounties, so today we'll try to talk about it. I'll try to suggest maybe 10 tips on how to play the bounties. As I'm recording this, I have no idea just yet how many tips I'm actually going to get, but let's aim for 10 tips and let's see what happens.
Earth. The center of the multiverse.
Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So today we will play not all the bounties. I'm going to give you 10 tips about how to play the bounties. Before I forget, let's pick up our...
Checking in with you is the highlight of my day.
I'm not sure what we really call it a tip. Before you actually start the bounties, just pick up your missions from your various NPCs.
Imperial Atlanteans clamor for Queen Diana's blood.
Basically, as you play the bounties,
Ares attempts to harry our weakest front with magical creatures.
you should also be able to complete your daily missions at the same time as you play the bounties.
The gods would prey on us to bolster themselves. Show them how this brave fights.
So I guess we could call this tip number 10. Pick up your missions before you start the bounties.
Agents of Apocalypse must pay for their trespass.
So once you do that, I guess we could go straight to... I guess tip number 9 would be learn to use the teleporters. Let's use it right here. Like from the teleporter here, you can teleport to the various points on the Wonderverse map. So the Flashpoint Atlantean invasion, the Ares invasion, the Olympian invasion, the Apocalypsean invasion, and the Gates of Tartarus invasion. When I first started playing these missions, I had no idea that's how the teleporters worked. I thought it was random, or I wasn't sure exactly why. But basically, once you start from here, usually you would go to the Flashpoint Atlantean invasion, unless you can already see that the bounty is already set up elsewhere. Let's give a little bow to our friend. Oh, wrong button. Let's give him a little bow. That's better. So first, let's go to the Atlantean invasion. So I didn't quite understand how it actually worked. Like if you see from here, you don't get all the teleporter points. You get from here, you only get the Ares invasion. The reason for that is that there is a specific order that you will play those bounties. So usually you start fighting Merc here, and once you finish defeating Merc, then you can use the teleporter to go to fight the evil Ares. So you don't even have to wonder about it. You just it happens all on its own. Like as soon as you complete the Ares from the teleporter here, then you can go to the Olympian invasion. Once you go to the Olympian invasion and defeat Athena, then you can go to Apocalypse, or the Apocalypsean invasion. And then once you defeat Kalibak and Steppenwolf, then you can take the teleporter straight to the Gates of Tartarus. And then from here, depending on what you need, you can go straight either to Flashpoint and then start the cycle again. Early on, people were farming those bounties over and over, so you would just go back to Flashpoint, Atlantean invasion, and then restart the cycle again. Let's go back to the mission hub first. Oh, as you can see, the Imperial Atlantean army is attacking. Let's go see. You don't need to be in a group. That's probably tip number 8. You don't need to be in a group. You can be by yourself. Let's go to see if there's anyone else here. So you do not need to be in a group, but you need enough players to be able to defeat the bounties. So here, as you can see, there's no one. How can you find either a group or a place where you can do the bounties? Personally, I use looking for group. I have a tab especially for that. LFG, that means looking for group. So you can see here, like there's a few characters that are looking for bounties, or that are looking to be invited for bounties. Some people are trying to call out that Merc is coming. Oh, actually Merc is here. But as you can see, there's only one guy that's there. So let's go see let's try to phase where our friend Hybrid Cypher is. So we go to recent text, Hybrid Cypher, and let's try to phase with him. Sadly, we cannot phase in combat. I kind of hate that. Somehow, even though I wasn't in combat, I wasn't considered in combat. There we go. So let's try again. So recent text, hybrid cipher, and let's try to phase with them. Sadly, the current phase is currently full. That is something that you will see quite a lot. Sadly, at some point, the game was lagging quite a lot. So they made a whole bunch of changes, and one of them is to sadly make it so that there's only a limited amount of people who could phase, who could be into one phase. So the other thing you can do then is if somehow you cannot find a phase that you can phase to, you can ask people to invite you to be in their group. Now, I can see a few people actually doing that right now. So let's go to looking for group, and let's ask them to invite us for bounty. So as you can see, someone is inviting us. Let's hope we're going to be able to phase to their phase. Like sometimes even if a group invites you, you still can, if the phase is full, you won't be able to phase with them. So here you can see the group as the 3 DPS and 1 tank. I will switch to controller. So as you can see, our friends are with Ares, so let us go there. Oh, and not sure if they've already started. So as you can see, nothing. I can't see anything right now. So we have to wait for things to load. Ah, there we go. So we missed out on Merc and the Atlantean invasion. Not a problem. We're going to be able to do it afterwards. And basically, the whole goal of this here is just to find a place where we have enough people to be able to play it. Like you can see here, you see our friend Spam Power is saying that the phase is full. So I was lucky enough to be able to squeeze in before the phase was full. So once you're with like you can see, there's a lot of people here that are going to play this bounty. You don't have to be in a group. Even if you're by yourself, the one thing you have to do though, I guess this is going to be tip number 7. The one thing you have to do, you have to do enough damage to the bounty to be able to get the credit. And sadly, if you play as a controller and all you do is give power and do debuffs, you're not going to get the credit. It's sad, but that's how it is. So ideally, you're going to try to want to focus on doing damage, even if you play as a controller or as a healer, because that seems to be mostly what counts to be able to get the credit. So what I would strongly suggest is use an orbital strike. The orbital strike seems to be a safe way to be able to do enough damage to get the credit. But once in a while, once in a while I was going to say you still don't get the full credit for a victory, even if you use the orbital strike. But I remember, like with Hydra, there's a few times where I did not use the orbital strike on purpose. So that might be why sometimes I would get only half the credit. So I would say as a rule of thumb, if you do use the orbital strike, you should be able to get the credit, but there's no guarantees of that. Okay, so the army is preparing. So let's start by debuffing and then let's summon our other friends. And let's use our orbital strike to try to ensure that we will get the credits. But I don't just use the orbital strike. I do have a few abilities that do a bit of damage. Oh, let's block the attack. I guess tip number 6 would be pay close attention to the warnings that you get in the screen. Sadly, sometimes when there's a lot of people playing the bounty, sadly there will be a bit of lag. So sometimes, even if you see the warning, if there is some lag, by the time you see the warning, it's too late. You might be knocked out already, anyways. So if you play the bounties and you see people that somehow do not block when you get the warning, it's pretty obvious. It's most of the time. It could be sometimes that people aren't just paying attention. It happens, but it easily could be just people that suffer some horrible lag, so that once they block, too late, they're already knocked out. So here we're done with our friend Ares. So normally we should get the full credit for the victory. Let's see. So yeah, we did get the full credit. And I guess we're overdue for our next tip. As you saw, I got six ether, I forget the actual name, Empyrean Ether, and I got 2 bonus ones. The reason why I got 2 bonuses ones, I'll show you why right now. It's because of my mods, of my augments, I should say. And once you upgrade your augments, so you can see there's Grecian Gift. I think it's when you upgrade your augments to level 3 or level 7, I forget. But basically you get +1 Empyrean Ether from defeating world bosses and Patchwork Themyscira for each rank of Grecian Gift. So both of my augments are upgraded enough so that I can get the bonus Empyrean Ether. So in addition to getting whatever Ether I'll get for a victory, I will also get those 2 bonuses Ether. As you saw, so once we finish Ares, we don't even have to worry about that. We just teleport to the next one with the Olympian bounties. And sometimes while you wait for the bounty, what you can do is that you can just complete your daily missions.
We can use our magic to close their link to our world.
Although if you're in a group, sometimes if other players are defeating the enemies you need, you won't have to do anything. Actually, we got 2 out of 30. So while we wait for the bounty, I guess that would be tip number 4, I think. While you wait for the bounties, do your objectives for your daily missions. And normally, other people in the group also need those objectives, so you should be able to complete those objectives at the same time as they do.
We can use our magic to close their link to our world.
So I will stick to playing as a controller. But if somehow you see, like usually I'm the only controller, not just in the group, in everyone that's playing. Early on, I didn't mind biting the bullet and being the controller of the whole raid, of the whole group. But the one thing that I did not like is that sometimes I would get no credit being the controller, which is why I'm telling you, you have to focus to do a bit of damage. So often you'll see like the only time that the enemies are debuffed is when I debuff them. So which usually tells me that I'm usually the only controller. Like in a huge group like that, odds are I'm probably the only controller in the group, unless some of them don't use debuffs for some reason. And there would have been another tip at some point. At some point, people would stand right here in the doorway just to make sure that they would attack Athena. Because, again, that was the best way or the safest way to make sure that you got the credit. If you were right amongst the first people who would jump on Athena and do a lot of damage to her, that is how you would get the credit. And sadly, there are objectives on the side. Like there's enemies that will spawn on the side that we should try to stop. Sadly, there's a few times where when I focused on defeating those enemies as opposed to doing damage to Athena, sadly there are times where I did not get the credit. So I would strongly suggest help your friends to defeat the enemies on the side, but make sure to come back to do some damage to Athena just to make sure that you will get the credit. Once in a while you may have to bite the bullet and do what's good for the group, even if it means that you won't get the credit. You decide.
On your signal, I will unleash a magic to destroy Athena's protective barrier. I channel ancient Amazonian magic to take down that barrier.
So as you can see, when there's a lot of people, enemies go down fast. And even if you don't have a healer in your group, sometimes you'll have certain healers that will be able to help you to heal you anyways. So Athena should be here soon. So let us summon our little friends. So let's try to hit her with our orbital strike to make sure we get the credit. And let's make sure to keep on debuffing her. to block. So as you saw, I was a second too late, but it wasn't too dramatic. I was lucky, I guess. And seeing how quickly she goes down, I shouldn't have to block again. And as you saw, we even got the message to return to General Calliope, because it means we got the objectives we needed in this area. So again, I get 6 Empyrean Ether for successfully defeating Athena, and I get the 2 bonus ones I get for the augments. So the first thing you should do is upgrade your augments high enough. I think it's level 3. So upgrade your augments so that you can get your bonus Empyrean Ether. That will make a huge difference in the long run. So let us go back to the next part. So again, you don't even have to worry about it. It does it almost automatically. You get either the mission hub, which obviously we don't want to go there. So let's go to Apocalyptian Invasion. And again, it's the same thing here. There's various objectives you need in this area. So while we wait for Kalibak and Steppenwolf, we could complete those objectives. And again, if other people in your group also do those objectives, that will go up quickly enough. And there's also a few feats, like there's a feat for the cannons over here, there's a feat for destroying a certain amount of them. So until you get those feats, you could try to complete that objective. Although even afterwards, when you no longer need the feat for the cannons, you can still take them down. It counts for objectives for your daily missions. And it helps you, and it helps some of people in your group who somehow don't have the feat for the cannons just yet. So you can see it goes up fairly quickly. We're already at 15 out of 30. Oh. So I guess that's going to be it for now. So let us prepare to receive the evil Kalibak and Steppenwolf. We seem to have lost a few people, unless we don't see everyone on the map for reasons. What seems to happen? Like you can see, there's a lot of there seems to be a lot more dots on the map than actual people that I'm seeing right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few people that somehow we don't quite see. So let's summon our old friends. And once in a while, you'll see like right now, Steppenwolf and Kalibak. We can't see them, so we can't really target them. Sometimes what I'll do, sometimes they'll have minions, so I'll try to target the minions, and it allows me to target them in a roundabout ways. Let's see if we can use our orbital strike. Oh yeah, there we go. So as you saw, it took quite a while for them to actually spawn. And for Kalibak, as you saw, there is a big attack. You have to get away from Kalibak. For Kalibak, I guess that would be tip number 4. For Kalibak, you cannot just block. You have to get out of the way. You have to get away from Kalibak. Otherwise, everyone around him will fall down. It's sad, but that's how it is. So as you can see, you have the warning, get away from Kalibak. Oh, we got a feat. I'm not sure which one. So Kalibak is down, Steppenwolf is down. So we got our 6 Empyrean Ether and our 2 bonus ones. I was trying to suggest there is also a bonus feat for defeating Orion. I forget how many times, but there's a bonus feat for defeating Orion a whole bunch of time. But also, if you want to have a mother box, from what I understand, the mother box drops from Orion. It seems to be a rare drop. I've defeated Orion a lot, and I only got the mother box once from defeating Orion. Usually, I get it. I have to buy it from the broker. So as you can see, return to Commander Persephone. As you saw, we were able to complete our daily mission easily enough. And now we're going to fight the evil Hydra. In order to be able to defeat the Hydra, or in order to be able to summon the Hydra, you have to defeat all the bosses, all the bounties before the Hydra. So you have to defeat Merc, you have to defeat Ares, you have to defeat Athena, and you have to defeat Steppenwolf and Kalibak. It doesn't matter if you weren't there at the start. Like basically, I wasn't there to defeat Merc, but it doesn't matter if the rest of the group were there. If everyone here was there to defeat Merc, if all the bounties were defeated before this point, the Hydra will spawn whether you were there or not. And after the Hydra, what you can do if you still need to defeat Mercs for reason, you can start the cycle again, and you can defeat Mercs afterwards. So somehow, unless the people failed to defeat Merc for reasons, we should be able to defeat the Hydra. Once we defeat the Hydra, I'll go to the mission hub to repair, and then we'll go to Atlantis, to the Atlantean invasion. So there we go. So sometimes it takes a while for the Hydra to spawn. So I guess tip number 3 would be ask your group if they want you to use the orbital strike or not on the Hydra. The reason for that is quite simple. If you use as the health point of the Hydra goes down, there are some teeth that will spawn, and each crap, that was close. So you can see the various red warnings telling you to get out of the way. Nope, someone went down. Ideally, try to even if it's not someone in your group, try to get them back up. Crap. I was going to say try to get everyone back up. There's something also that often happens. Like you can see, no one came to raise up, sadly. When there's a lot of lag, there's people will stay down. They will not get back up. The reason for that is that sometimes it crashes. So as you saw, I was able to respawn and come back. But it could have happened that if there was a lot of lag, I could have crashed doing what I just did. And the problem that happens is that if there are people who are scared of crashing, if they get knocked down, they won't get back up. Come on. Not sure why the Hydra had a teeth against me. So as you can see, there's not that many of us left, it would seem. Oh, there's still plenty. Yeah, we should be enough. You can see the Rampaging Hydra is almost down. So if I just focus on debuffing it, well, we should be okay. So you see those teeth here, you have to click on them before they become a skeleton. So if you don't click on the teeth, eventually you get overrun with a whole bunch of skeleton warriors, and you don't want that. And that's why some group don't want you to use the orbital strike. Let's use it now, the Hydra is almost dead. So there are groups that don't want you to use the orbital strike because they're afraid that if the health of the Hydra goes down too fast, it will summon a whole bunch of skeletons. It will summon too many skeletons. So I guess that would be tip number 3, I think. Make sure to click on the skeletons when they spawn, and make sure to either not use the orbital strike to summon more skeletons, or use the orbital strike when you're pretty sure that there won't be any more skeletons summoned. And again, here you can see the Hydra. If you get the victory with the Hydra, you get 12 Empyrean Ether, Again, you get your 2 bonus ones, and you get sometimes a base item, and you might get some mods. The various generator mods, you can get a lot of them from playing those bounties. So once you defeat the Hydra, what do? You start the cycle all over again. So from here, we could go straight to the Flashpoint Atlantean invasion, but I'll go to the mission hub first, just to repair. And you can see I've completed my
It
objectives.
is unlikely that the threat of Darkseid has been.
Sorry, oh, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't complete the Atlantean yet.
When we act with such unity, not even Ares.
So if you just join,
Zeus, even Athena.
if you just farm for the bounties, you'll complete your daily missions at the same time. So let's
Thank
see
you
if
for
we can
supporting
repair.
the princess.
So let us go to the Atlantean invasion. So again, all you need to do, you just wait for the cycle to start again. While you wait, you could decide to defeat some enemies to complete your daily mission. So the Imperial Atlantean army is about to attack. There doesn't seem to be as many people right now, but it happens. But we seem to be a big enough group. We should be able to handle Merc easily enough. So let's summon our little friends, and let's get ready for battle. For Merc, his special attack is that he will charge in one direction. So you have to either get out of his way, or you have to block his charge. So block Merc's charge attack. If you're not sure, sometimes in the confusion, like you can see here, you have no idea in which direction Merc is going to attack.
Stop the source power channel.
But as you can see, Merc is going down quickly enough.
Stop them before Merc absorbs that source power. Take caution. Now fall to its stolen source power. Warning. Is what it means to the process.
So I completely lost where Merc was, and apparently was defeated. So again, we got our 6 Empyrean Ether coins, and our 2 bonuses one. So let's close that. So we could continue to farm for the bounties pretty much all day if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to say thank you to the guys who invited us to the group. Well, let's give them a bow, because we can. And let us leave. So let's go back to the mission hub. There's a bit of lag. Let's complete our
How
mission.
tragic that the Atlanteans from Queen Diana's world act with such malice.
So we were able to complete the bounties easily enough. If we wanted to, we could keep on repeating the bounties, even if we're no longer in a group. Right now, there's enough people. Let's go back to Ares just to be safe. So right now, as you can see, there's still a lot of people. So there should be enough people to be able to defeat Ares again. I guess tip number 2, I think we're at. Let's go see our old friend, Specialist Cassandra. A Specialist Cassandra has a few items that will help you out to upgrade your character. I wouldn't purchase the Enhanced Captain gear just yet. I guess my tip would be there's a few elite items that you can get. So what I would suggest is that you purchase the weapon, the rings, and the neck piece as quickly as you can. It is fairly expensive though. You will have to play the bounties quite a lot. But to get the weapon, I had to play the bounties for like 3 days, I think. I was able to purchase the weapon. And after that, I probably could have purchased a few other items, but I didn't have enough splintered coins. Like I pretty much ran out of splintered coins, so I had to wait for like the next week to be able to purchase the neck piece and the 2 rings. And after that, I guess you could try to get the various mods or the various boons to be able to upgrade to your augments. And I guess my last tip, would be tip number 1. If somehow you cannot get a group to farm the bounties, or you cannot phase into a phase where people are farming for the bounties, and if let's say no one in your phase is farming the bounties, you could decide to farm the bounties on your own. Sadly, what that will mean is that you will not be able to defeat Ares, you will not be able to defeat the bounties, but you will be able to get a minimum of 3 ether coins, Empyrean ether coins, if you get defeated. If you cannot defeat Ares, you get a minimum of 3 coins, especially if you're on your own. So what you could do is that you could farm for those 3 coins. Sadly, I understand that it is quite a grind, but at first that is practically what I did. When I started playing those bounties, didn't quite understand how the bounties worked, and somehow couldn't get into a group or into a phase where the people were actually doing the bounties. So I actually fought the bounties by myself or with a smaller group of 2 or 3 other guys. And obviously we would not be victorious, but at least we would get 3 Empyrean Ether coins each time. So the first couple of days, that's pretty much what I did. So it took me a couple of days to figure out how the bounties worked, and also a couple of days to understand how to make sure to get the credits. Because sometimes even with the victory, I would get 0 coins. If I was playing as a controller, sadly, if all I was doing was giving out powers and debuffing enemies, I wouldn't get the credits. So you have to make sure that you do a bit of damage in order to be able to get the credits for the bounties. So I hope this will help at least a few of you guys out there who are struggling with the bounties. And I understand the first couple of days I was a bit, let's say I was a bit irritated. But after a while I got the hang of it, I guess. And then playing the bounties became much easier. And as you saw, I was able to purchase, let me show you. So I was able to purchase the Slayer's Merciless Blasters, but also it counts as an elite weapon. There's also the neck piece that counts as an elite piece of gear. And there's also the 2 rings, again, that counts as elite pieces of gear. So if you've got the affinity mods in your generator for when you're wearing elite gear, like you can see right now, I'm wearing 4 pieces of elite gear, so technically it gives me 2% extra vitalization. If I manage to get some more elite gear, I'll get more bonuses, as you can see. I hope this made some sort of sense, and this will be able to help some of you guys who are struggling with the bounties. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. I have roughly 2,000 videos about this Universe Online at this point. So if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I've already made a video that answers your question. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.